Today on Tried and Tested, we're looking back at one of the most popular setups the world has ever seen, the original Nexus lineup from Pioneer DJ. Hi guys, and welcome back to Crossfader. My name's DJ Holland, and this is a DJM 900 Nexus and a CDJ 2000 Nexus, the first of the Nexus range from Pioneer DJ. Now, the term club standard is used a lot in our industry, in reviews, in people just talking to each other, but what does it mean? Well, for a lot of people, myself included, it means these players right here. And it's due to their popularity. It doesn't matter where you go in the world, the chances are, in most nightclubs, bars and festivals, no matter where you are, these are going to be the players sat at the heart of the DJ booth. Now, a lot of that has to do with the timing of their release, the features they brought, and the products that have come since, which just haven't quite lived up to the same mark, meaning there wasn't a need to go out and rush for the replacement. Now, the DJM 900 Nexus was released first. It came out in 2011. It took over from the very popular DJM 800. Now, the DJM 800 had been in clubs for about 8 years before that. It was a very, very popular mixer. It had a great layout. It was hard-wearing. It just worked, and it was loved the world around. The DJM 2000 Nexus came along, for those that can remember it, but it was a lot bigger, more complicated, and changed the way DJs go about things. You know, filter pots finished at a different spot. They cancelled out in different places. The workflow of the mixer was very different. The DJM 900 just took the 800's brilliant capabilities, its fantastic layout, all those great things that made it so popular, and just added more features. This is probably why the 900 Nexus is such a staple mixer. Everyone knows how to use them. And now we see controllers even being based upon the design of this mixer, making the jump from controller to, in the nightclub on a modular setup, much less daunting. The 900 took over from the 800 and brought with it two new color effects. We had Space and Dub Echo. These were both post-fader, which was great. We got a touch effects strip on the beat effects itself, some new beat effects, and the ability to quantize those effects to the beat grid information being supplied by other linked players. And yes, this mixer, of course, was linked enabled. You could connect this to the DJ Pro Link system via the Cat5 cable found on the back, which was the first for its sort. We also got a link cue button, so we could listen to any cues on the Rekordbox software if you had a computer linked into the same network. And finally, there was 4 digital inputs placed upon this mixer for this new era of digital DJing and players coming with digital outputs. Less fuss, less cables, a lot simpler to set up. So that was the DJM 900 Nexus. Now, a year beforehand, the CDJ 2000 had just been released in 2010. Now, the CDJ 2000 was a revolutionary play. It really, really was a big jump from the CDJ 1000 Mark III that came before it. All of a sudden, we had a color screen. We had the ability to play back from USB or SD cards that had been analyzed and prepared on a computer elsewhere. Of course, we kept the CD drive and a familiar layout, but everything about the build was upped with 3 individual hotkey buttons down the left-hand side. We had start and stop features on the right side. All these things that made the original CDJ 1000 so popular was carried over and leveled up. However, the world around us was changing at a quick pace. There'd just been Serato DJ announced and released. Rekordbox was coming on leaps and bounds, and was Tractor at the same time. The CDJ 2000 was good, but it wasn't great. So, just 2 years after the original release, and a year after the DJM 900 Nexus, in September of 2012, Pioneer dropped the Nexus CDJ 2000 upon us. Now, this Nexus took everything that was great about the original 2000 and just leveled it up. We had a brand new high-resolution display in the center. This high-resolution display allowed for the waveforms to be shown on screen for the first time. And that was really, really useful. Now we could see playback information on the screen itself, so things like hot cues, cue placement, loops could all be visible on the screen itself. You could even edit the beat grid on the screen. So if your computer had done the analysis wrong, of the track, you could go in and change it on the player. This was great because the big feature that Pioneer was pushing was the Pro Link, the ability to have 4 players and a mixer connected together on a local Ethernet connection. So all you need was a switching hub, and then your players connected via Cat5 cables, and you could play music on any of the players from one USB stick or SD card stuck into a single player. You could beat sync for the first time all the players, which at the time was quite controversial, but DJs have learned how to use it properly and have grown to adore it. The beat sync feature actually carried over into the DJM900 Nexus 2, so the effects could be synced up too, and you could quantize them, meaning that your effects sounded beautiful with the beat grid on point properly. Again, another real strong purpose for having the ability to change your beat grid. So if your beat grid was slightly off, obviously everything else wouldn't quite work, so the ability to change beat grid was key. Another class feature that had been added into the CDJ2000 Nexus was the ability to turn quantize on and off with a dedicated button. Now the CDJ2000 did have quantize, but it was in the menus. And as I said, you couldn't change the beat grid. So if you had quantize on and you went to do a loop and your beat grid wasn't proper, on the CDJ2000 you were stuck. You either had to delve into the menus and turn off quantize, which took time, usually after you'd realized your loop was way off, or you just had to deal with it. It was really, really difficult. Now on the CDJ2000 Nexus, we had the ability to not only change the beat grid, but if we were in the middle of a mix and we realized the grid was off, you could turn quantize on and off with a simple press of a button directly on the hardware. Also added to the hardware was a dedicated slip button. Now the slip button meant that you could scratch, activate hot cues, and also loop rolls, which were brand new back then on the player, all from a single button, using the display to show the slip roll options and using the needle touch strip to activate them. It was really, really progressive technology. It was really cutting edge at the time and brought a lot of features that people only thought were available in software and controllers to the hardware itself. Now all that power did come at a price. The CDJ2000 Nexus and the DJM900 Nexus retailed at €18.99 here in Europe, and they have held their value remarkably well. Even on the second-hand market, these are still very, very expensive, and that's because unlike the jump from the DJM800 and the CDJ2000 to the Nexus line, where there's quite a big jump, a lot of technology jumping forward, the Nexus 2 range that came afterwards in 2018, it was, don't get me wrong, a nice update, but it wasn't as big a jump. You could still perform many of the same features on the older players. And as such, many venues around the world and DJs just haven't upgraded, meaning that these are still used and adored the world round. So the second-hand market price has never really dropped on these. It's dropped a bit, but not a lot. They're still very expensive to get your hands onto. So in this day and age, would I recommend going out and buying a set of CDJ2000 Nexus and a DJM900 Nexus? Well, if you can get it for the right price, 100%. These are absolutely fantastic players. And even with the advancements in technology, 8 years after their release, these are still being used the world round. They're still very popular for good reason. If you want that club feeling, that club standard at home, this is the way to go. We do imagine at some point soon we are going to see another range of CDJ players, whether that be a Nexus 3 or a CDJ 3000 or whatever, coming from Pioneer DJ. We imagine it will be soon. Denon DJ have made great jumps in technology since all this was released, and with the competitive pricing that Denon DJ have used, you can probably pick up a complete set of SC5000 players for the same price as you can these 8-year-old units. So probably not a product I would recommend you go out and spend too much money on due to the timing of the releases coming forward. However, these are absolutely crucial and pivotal to the story of DJing in whole. Every DJ I know will have played on these. Every nightclub I have played in has had a set of these. These have been, how would I say, instrumental in the way we do things and somewhat of a cult status and a legendary player. They are completely fantastic at what they do. Have you ever played on a set of CDJ2000s? Maybe the Nexus, maybe the original range? The 900 Nexus mixer is in many DJ booths. I'm sure most of you will have. Let us know your thoughts about these legendary players in the comments below. Obviously, please give us a thumbs up if you can. It really does help this channel out. Subscribe for more content just like this and hit the bell icon so you're notified when we make uploads. I hope you are well and safe wherever you are watching from. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you in another video sometime very soon. Thanks a lot.